Hi guys, Al DeMarco here, General Manager at DeMarcosports.com, and I've got your Monday free play on the Bills and Jets coming up in just a moment. I'm right now in Columbus, Ohio. It's 4:15 in the morning. I'm about 4 hours away from getting my first chemotherapy treatment, and I'm not concerned. I can't affect the outcome, so what the hell am I going to worry about it? But I got to tell you something. I, over the past 15 years, have probably done in the high hundreds, maybe even 1,000 or so video reports from various Marriott hotels from around the world. Not only in the US, but from Italy, from the Netherlands, all over the United Kingdom, from France as well. And the one thing that I can say is consistent is the lighting sucks. No matter how many little portable lights I bring, the lighting sucks. You just saw it, how it flipped. There it is again. It flips again every time I move. And the other thing is, and I can't give you the angle right now because of where I'm positioned, but the artwork is just as bad. Now, on a serious note, today is 22-year anniversary of 9/11. I know 22 years ago today, I was living in Philadelphia, and I was on my way that morning to the Philadelphia airport to fly to Atlanta, and I was almost to the airport when I had heard the news. I knew something was going on, but nobody had any confirmation. First, I thought it was some small little plane that hit something, the tower, and nobody really knew exactly until I got to the airport. And then they had a confirmation that the first plane actually hit. Of course, my wife's at home. She's watching on TV, and she's frantically trying to call me. But, everybody was using their cell phones, and nobody could really get any coverage to get a signal and get a call through. It was that crazy that morning, as you may or may not remember. So I turned around, and I'm driving home. She still can't get me, and I'm hour down, hour back. She was, needless to say, a little panic-stricken until I got home and knew what was going on. But who would have guessed that 22 years later, it's domestic terrorism that is this country's biggest problem. The other little relatable story, as far as I'm concerned, is 23 and a half years ago is when I started building these sites. Because at that time, you have to remember, the internet was this new kid on the block. There wasn't like e-commerce sites all over the place. There wasn't a place that you could go say, hey, I want to buy that shopping cart. So these sites, I dreamed them. I created them. I had to take my thoughts of how a shopping cart should be built, how these sites should be built, and I literally worked with this small company of 3 programmers and sat side by side with them and 3-4 days a week and literally said, this is how we're going to do it. And they created, I proofed it, we went back and forth, and it took almost 18 months to launch it. We launched it in July. 9/11 happened. The sports world closed. We were a company that was teetering on the brink of disaster. There was me and one other person and one tech guy. That was it. We were a 3-person company. I mean, that's how close we were to going out of business. And we were literally hanging on by a string and finally made it to the end of football season. And then it slowly started to build. But just wanted to tell you, at that time, trying to convince people to buy on the internet, it was like foreign. It was, nobody understood it. We had to hire customer service people to actually explain to customers how to make an online purchase. That's how foreign it was. And that went on for the first couple of years. Actually, almost the first 3 years. We had 5 people in customer service explaining how to make purchases online. It was a whole new world. Anyway, let's get to the point in hand, which is football. Yesterday in the video report, I told you that the easiest way to make money in the NFL is to simply find the straight-up winners and bet them. Well, the straight-up winners, including Thursday's win with the Lions, 13-2 against the spread so far. I'm not going to recap what I told you yesterday, but guys, I'll keep updating you each and every week. I'm telling you, it's an amazing little thing. Of course, if you can pick the straight up winners, we'd all be amazingly rich. It's just not the easiest thing in the world. 13-2 so far this week going into this game tonight. As for me, yesterday, 17th ever 30-dime release, which is the biggest play of my career once again in the NFL. It was Jacksonville, completing a 2-0 sweep on the weekend, as I also had Syracuse on Saturday, and free picks 4-1 on Saturday, 1-4 yesterday. But did I not tell you yesterday that I thought the best bet on the board was going to be Philadelphia, and the Eagles were very close to being my 30-dime release. Whew, thank God I was on a plane and I didn't get to watch that damn game. 16-0 up, and then they only won 25-20 as a 3.5-point chalk. I thought the Jacksonville game was tough to bring home. Either way, it did win. Two other interesting things yesterday. You saw that the favorites really struggled. And generally, I can tell you two things. When the chalks don't deliver, two things happen, and they're both not good. One, gamblers lose money because gamblers generally gravitate towards chalks. It's just basic human nature. And when the dogs bark loud, bookmakers make a lot of money. The other thing is that the unders are 9-6 so far this week. And I think that's a trend that you're always going to find in the opening week of play, especially now with the reduced preseason with these 3 games. So many coaches just don't play their starters or only give them a couple of series. They instead relied on controlled practices or joint practices. That is not the same thing as actually putting them out in preseason play. Even when we used to have 4 games, generally the third game, the starters used to get at least a half or 3/4. Not the same thing. And that's what happens. These guys don't have the chemistry, they don't have the cohesiveness, and you find teams just not playing well offensively in the first week. That's why the unders generally dominate week number 1 nowadays. Let's talk about this game here tonight. The public is obviously infatuated with Aaron Rodgers. That's why this game has come down from 2.5. You can get it for 1.5 right now. I like the Bills still here in this game. I think that if this game is played in week number 6, maybe the Jets are the way to go. But I think it's going to take time for Aaron Rodgers and Dalvin Cook and all the parts for the Jets to really mesh together against a veteran Bills team. The Jets' offensive line still has a lot of questions, does it not? The Jets' offensive line has been bad for the last couple of years. The Bills are healthy. This is a team that looked like it was going to win the Super Bowl early last season before all the injuries hit. But they come into the season healthy. You've got Josh Allen. You've got Stephon Diggs. You've got a strong run game. And also do not discount the fact that they have perhaps the best secondary in the league. They also have a defense that only allowed 5.7 yards per pass attempt. Is that how it is? Let me just double check my notes. Yes, guys, I do take notes sometimes. 5.7 yards per dropback last year. That was number 6 in the league. That is the type of pass defense that Aaron Rodgers is going to face. And let's face it, Aaron Rodgers was not the Aaron Rodgers that we had seen in previous years last season. Was it because the Packers were bad? Well, who says the Jets are going to be good? So I say take advantage of the reduced price and play the Bills tonight. Now, I'm not playing the game. I'm very curious to watch the game, but I like the Bills here tonight. So that'll do it. I wish you well, and we'll talk again soon.